8 of the alleged fake electors involved in the 2020 presidential election in Georgia accepted immunity deals from the prosecution in an ongoing grand jury probe into whether former President Donald Trump and his allies worked to overturn the results. The immunity deals were accepted last month by her 8 clients. The Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis's office revealed that each of the 16 people who signed the false elector certificate was a target of her investigation. The 16 fake electors met at the state capitol on December 14, 2020, and signed a certificate declaring falsely that Trump had won the presidential election and declaring themselves the state's duly elected and qualified electors. Jill Biden, the First Lady of the United States, will represent the country at the coronation of King Charles III on Saturday, a historic and unprecedented event. She has already met with British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, Queen Elizabeth II, and Prince Harry, and joined them in various activities related to health, education, and military veterans. She will also attend a reception at Buckingham Palace and a luncheon at Downing Street before flying back to Washington. President Biden, who has a close relationship with Charles and the royal family, skipped the coronation due to the precedent of a U.S. president never attending. The First Lady's presence will honor the special relationship between the two countries and celebrate the late Queen's legacy. Jill Biden has met the Queen several times since 2021, when she and the President visited England for a G7 summit. She also had a memorable tea with the Queen at Windsor Castle, where she felt like a granddaughter. She has also bonded with Kate, William, and Harry over their support of military veterans and their interest in early childhood education. The Earth's rotation and day length have fluctuated in recent years, according to a new study by scientists. They found that June 29, 2022 was 1.59 milliseconds less than the average day, and that the Earth's rotation has accelerated since 2016. They suggest that this could be caused by the Earth's tides and the melting and refreezing of ice caps on the world's tallest mountains. They also propose introducing a negative leap second to adjust the atomic timescale, but some engineers oppose this idea, arguing that it could lead to unpredictable and devastating outages across the world. The study will be presented at the Asia-Oceania Geosciences Society Conference for Geosciences. Kari Lake, a Republican who lost the Arizona governor's race to Democrat Katie Hobbs last year, faced a $2,000 fine for making false statements about the election. She claimed that thousands of ballots had been injected into the total, but the state's top court said that was unquestionably false. She also challenged the decision to reject her legal challenge, which was based on no evidence of wrongdoing, but the court refused to hear it in full. Ms. Lake, who was endorsed by Donald Trump despite losing by a margin of 17,000 votes, is still pursuing other claims about the verification of signatures on early ballots. Baltimore police officers, Segis Watson and Alexis Acosta, were indicted this week for selling drugs on the clock and killing a scooter rider while responding to a 911 call, respectively. The indictments come as the city's top prosecutor, Ivan Bates, seeks to hold officers accountable for misconduct and rebuild trust after the Gun Trace Task Force corruption scandal that exposed widespread police corruption. Watson, an 11-year veteran, was accused of selling marijuana at a tattoo parlor during his shift, while Acosta, a 4-year veteran, was charged with manslaughter and other offenses for striking and killing Terry Harrell, a 58-year-old scooter rider, with his car. Bates said the indictments show his commitment to reforming the police department, but also acknowledged the challenges of implementing a federal consent decree that mandates court-ordered changes. The U.S. labor market added 253,000 jobs in April, showing resilience despite rising interest rates, inflation, and a banking crisis. The unemployment rate fell to 3.4%, a 54-year low, but partly because 43,000 people left the labor force. The job gains were much weaker in February and March than previously estimated, and hourly wages rose at the fastest pace since July. The Federal Reserve has raised interest rates to fight inflation, but this has weakened some sectors of the economy, such as housing and manufacturing. The Fed hopes to achieve a soft landing by cooling the economy and the labor market. However, the economy faces other serious threats, such as a possible government default, a global slowdown, and a credit crunch. Apple's Q2 2023 revenue and profit exceeded Wall Street's expectations. Sales for the quarter fell 2.5% to $94.84 billion, better than analyst expectations of a 4.4% decline to $93 billion. Profit was flat at $1.52 per share, compared with estimates of a 5.7% fall to $1.43 per share. Apple's iPhone revenue rose 1.5%, while sales of Macs fell sharply and iPad revenue slipped. Sales in China also dropped 2.9% to $17.8 billion, a slightly larger drop than overall revenue. Tori Bowie, a three-time Olympic medalist in sprinting, died at age 32 on Wednesday. She was best known for anchoring America's 4x 100-meter relay to gold in the 2016 Rio de Janeiro Games, leading a legendary squad of Tiana Bartoletta, Allyson Felix, and English Gardner. She also won the 100-meter silver and 200-meter bronze in those games, and the 100-meter gold at the 2017 World Athletics Championships in London. She was a Mississippi native who credited her success to her grandmother who raised her. She was described as a champion, a beacon of light, and a small country town girl by her management company, Icon Management Incorporated, and fellow Olympian, Lolo Jones. The World Health Organization, WHO, announced on Friday that COVID-19 no longer represents a global health emergency, a major step towards the end of the pandemic that has killed more than 6.9 million people and disrupted the world. The WHO's Emergency Committee recommended this decision after reviewing the progress made in vaccines, treatments, and public health measures. The WHO Director General, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, said the end of the emergency did not mean COVID was over, and that the world had to learn from the pandemic and prepare for the future. The pandemic has changed the world and its people, and lifting the emergency status is a sign of hope, he said. The WHO's decision differs from some other countries and regions, such as the US and the European Union, that have already declared the end of the emergency phase or are moving to routine management of COVID.
Thank you for watching. Please support our efforts by liking and sharing the videos. Don't forget to subscribe to get our regular updates.